Hello all, my name is Temi. I'm also known on Instagram as Living Letter Plans, and today I'm going to show you how to create your own mental health spreads. These are pick-me-up spreads, as I like to call them, and they're pages in my bullet journal that I turn to when I need help with my mental health, with ideas of things to do when I'm feeling low or stressed or anxious. So here is some examples for you in my past bullet journals of pick-me-up spreads that I've done. This is actually the first one I created, and it was just a feeling low question mark, and around it just has different ideas of things to do when I'm feeling low. Things like journaling, doing something I enjoy, things that are healthy that will help me pick myself up. And the thing I love about these spreads is that they're clear and easy to read. So when I'm feeling low, I don't need to try and rack my brains with ideas. I can just come here and grab some. I also do these mental health spreads that I call I Feel My Best When, and then I have a list of things here that are a bit more preventative in terms of looking after my mental health to avoid me getting to a place where I'm really low or anxious or stressed. And then I also create these self-care spreads, and I like to look at these as a menu of things to choose from if I schedule in time of self-care in my planner. I'll show you just some more self-care pages. This is another feeling low one that I've done in my current bullet journal. My best self, with things that I can do to make sure that I'm looking after myself. And this is another example of a self-care spread that is seasonal, that has different ideas of things to do to help me look after my mental health. So to help me think up ideas of things to put into these spreads that I can turn to, I actually keep a track in my mood tracker, a note of what I was doing when I was feeling particularly happy, and I keep these as ideas to put into these spreads. So now I'm going to create a pick-me-up spread, and I'm going to choose to do one of the feeling low spreads with 6 ideas of what I can do when I'm feeling particularly low. The first step is to pick the layout. So I'm going to use my grid spacing guide, and the easiest way to do it is to decide how many you want to put on there. I'd say 6 maximum, so that you don't have too much to choose from, and you can divide a page into the number that you're going to put down. Now for me, I like to do things a bit differently and just put some boxes down and just draw them out into an irregular shape. I have created some printables in the blog, which will be linked in the description, so that that can just make it a little bit easier for you to do. But I'm going to pop my title in the middle across the double pages. You can also just pop them in one of the boxes provided in the printable and add your own decoration to this. This is one of the things that I do when I'm creating these spreads, is to make sure that I enjoy it mindfully, because actually it really helps me focus, which is one of the things in journaling that has been a massive help to my mental health, even when I'm not creating a spread that is particularly about helping my mental health, such as this one. But there is something so fun about sitting down and doing journaling like this. It really has been an aid to help me feel grounded when my mind tends to wander. So the first step that I'm going to do here is just using some brush pens. These are the Tombow dual brush pens that I'm using to create my floral designs. And with these designs, I'm just going to do this sort of filled out box. I'm not going to put an outline around the outside because I quite like the look of the leaves dancing around the page, but I'm going to have them sort of contained within boxes just to help keep the layout a little bit simple. So once you filled out that part, this is my favourite part with acrylograph pens. I love layering them on top of brush pens because the detail that they create in their pigment is so bold that they lay over a lot of things really, really well. And you can see as I add these details to the leaves for some shading and a bit of depth, how much difference it makes to the design. I love doing this. This is probably my go-to with my acrylograph pens, either to use them to create bold pattern designs or to layer on top of other pens or craft paper or black paper, because they're so pigmented. So once my design is done, I'm going to go on to my next part, which is using craft paper notepad. This is the A5 notepad, and as you can see, I've used this so much, but it has lasted me ages. I use this I want to say every theme that I've done, I've used craft paper in some way. I love the effect of using it to create my note paper, and I get a lot of questions on my Instagram about how I do this. I'm going to show you now. I literally just measure up the drawn box, and it's so easy to cut out with because it's dot grid. And then I just use some glue tape to stick it down. Then I grab a fine liner and I just draw out the shape of my post-it note papers around the box. Now you can see here I made a little mistake. I'm going to show you how I actually cover this up. I just take another tiny piece of craft paper and simply stick it on top. So once I've drawn my boxes out, I'm going to add a little drop shadow. And then we can move on to filling in some information. So I usually put some quotes down to lift me up. Here I'm just putting some notes down to keep me grounded. And then you can start putting in the different ideas that you have. So under my 6 headings, I'm actually going to add some little ideas in there to help me further, because I might put something like journal and think to myself, well, what would I possibly journal? Or I'll think self-care. Okay, what can I do for self-care? Give myself a few ideas. It just helps to take the thought process out of it, which when you're in that place of feeling really low is really helpful, which is why I love these spreads so much. So you can use the information from your mood tracker, like I said, or things that you know just really help you. It'll be different for everyone and tailored to everyone's individual needs or ability or interests. So you don't have to copy mine, although I will give you some printables that have some ideas if you're feeling stuck. And just like that, you have a pick-me-up spread all completed to help you with your mental health. Now I mark these pages in my bullet journal to make sure that I can come back to them easily in those moments when I just need some help with ideas of what to do to help myself feel better. Now I would love to see your mental health pick-me-up spreads, so make sure if you share, you do tag us at Archer and Olive and Archer and Olive Community, and use the hashtag AOShare or Archer and Olive. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.